hearty congratulations to all of the winners. I represent Telangana State Industrial Infrastructure Corporation. You might be aware that TSIC has a mandate of developing industrial parks and thereby facilitating investments into the state. Speakers earlier were mentioning about the importance of HR. I would only harp on one point that HR, as we are all aware, is very, very important. It is the cornerstone of any organization, the HR department, but also the most envied one and also the most criticized one, perhaps. You have equal number of enemies as friends. Government, for instance, is perhaps the largest employer anywhere. For instance, in Telangana, the state government employees are in the order of 4 lakh and above. In fact, Sir heads Energy Department, Sunil Sharma sir. They themselves have some, I'm not sure about the numbers, sir, but I think it's upwards of 50,000 employees. So you know the kind of pressures, pulls that the HR department face, and they have to get into this maze of managing the employees. Praveenji was mentioning adaptation to technology, I think, is a way ahead for HR, and this will lead us to simplify our working and take us forward in many ways. So I thank the organizers, FTCCI, who have been doing a stellar role in promotion of industry and commerce in Telangana. It has a great legacy from the past. I thank them for inviting me for this awards today, and I wish once again all the award winners good luck, and looking forward to meeting you all very soon. Thank you very much.
Very excited that many of you have won the awards here, and for the simple reason is because I personally believe the decade of 2020 and 2030 is going to be HR. And Leena Nair is the first of the many HR CEOs who's going to come in. So if you look at 80s and 90s, typically you found the operation guys becoming the CEO because organizations wanted to scale, they wanted to have high quality. So by default, the operations guys became the CEO. You looked at 2000 and 2010 kind of a decade, finance guys became the CEO because suddenly you wanted to scale up, you needed money, you wanted efficiencies, you wanted profitability there. Today, if you look at, as they famously say, geography is history. With companies cutting across, the biggest challenge is how do you synergize people from different cultures? How do you bring that diversity and inclusion? How do you make that difference? And that is where you will realize that HR is going to play the role. So I'm very excited by the fact that many of the CHROs are going to become CEOs, provided we take care of 3 things, and I will just leave with those 3 things as a thought process for us. The first and foremost is we need to understand that if we don't do an impact, we are just a distraction. So typically, traditionally, HR has been blamed for that, and there is nothing to shy away from, saying that we were not so smart enough. But we always did things for the sake of doing things. We never linked it to showing the business impact. And I'm glad that this HR report talked so much of data and tried to create impact, because that is what business looks for. The typical left brain logical people, we are typical right brain people. We talk creativity, they don't understand creativity. They only understand green dollar bills, and that is what we need to talk to. The second is, which is very clear, is we need to talk data. Enough of things like saying people will be happy, people are happy and all that. Again, don't understand that. We need to move towards data, and traditionally we've been shying away from data. Today when I talk to many CHROs, they come and tell me very candidly, saying, Srini, we got into HR because we hated numbers. Now please don't take back us to numbers, I had options, I've come from best of the B schools, but we didn't took finance or any other specialization, we took HR because I wanted to stay away from numbers. But unfortunately, we don't have that option. Every time you walk into a CEO's room or you walk into a board room, they expect that. The third D, which is the final one, is basically we need to focus on the organization DNA, which is our culture. Because it is important for all of us to understand that competition will replicate your compensation, but competition will never replicate your culture. So whatever salary you give, it takes 24 hours for competition to come back and say delta 10. And that's very easy for them. And that's why today you see that great resignation cycle going on, because it's very easy. But what competition will never replicate is your culture. For whatever reason, if every quarter your CEO hosts a lunch and you go back and ask the new company, will the CEO host the lunch? They'll say, I can't go back and guarantee that. I can give you 20% hike, please come. And people stay back for culture. We've seen it for years together. So my dad was a bureaucrat, so I always asked him, how can you stay in an organization for 40 years, because people like us, in for 40 months we get excited to go to where. And he was always happy going to office, so I used to always check with him. And he used to go back and say the same thing. He says, what is the big deal? You guys talk about social security, you guys talk about you get this benefit, that benefit. Government of India has been giving us this benefit for donkey's years. So don't come back and try to, sell that proposition, this is the best practice and all that. And I've seen him, I've never seen him any day coming back stressed. I've always seen him, being happy. And one of the things I always keep discussing with him was, he said, the culture, the kind of ecosystem that we have, he says we have the pulls and pushes, which everybody has. But that's the beauty of that. We need to go back and focus on our culture. Today, one of the things that as HR is feeling is identifying what is that unique DNA we have. And every organization has its own DNA. We need to figure out what that DNA is and start focusing on that. So in short, the next 2 decades belong to us, provided we take the opportunity. And I wish all the winners here big congratulations and good luck on your journey. Thank you, and thank you for again inviting me here. Thank you.
First of all, congratulations to all the awardees for getting this award today, because the excitement which we get when we get an award, nobody can measure it. It is beyond any measurement, beyond any imagination, because that really gives the satisfaction. And that is what is human resource emotion is all about. See, we have so many resources, water resource, mineral resource, we have coal, we have, soil, these are all natural resources. Then we have another resource, that is human resource. Now we can categorize these into 2 categories. The resources which I have said, mineral resources, natural resources, they cannot think. But human resource can think. Human resource has got emotions. Human resource can plan. So we have to deal with these 2 in a different way. And when these 2 resources come, because unless until the resources are managed, controlled, or they are worked upon by a human resource, we cannot have any results, desired results. We can have results which are not desired. For example, there could be an explosion. For example, there could be a volcano. There is a natural resource that could explode, but nobody desires it. But we can produce electricity by combining coal, water and human resource. That is a desired result. So desired results can be achieved only when we use the human resource properly. And human resource properly does not mean giving them training and then being like a dictator and telling them to come at 10 and going at 5 and then not caring about their needs and all. That is not the, way to treat a human resource. As I said, human resource has got emotions. So we have to be very careful whenever we are dealing with emotions. And no 2 persons, there are so many people here, around 100. So no 2 persons will have same emotions. They will have different emotions. So that's why we have to use our, talent to know how to deal a person. And I think every person has to be dealt in a different way. They could be generalized rules. But then when you're dealing with your colleague, when you're dealing with your junior colleague or a senior colleague, you have to, on a one-to-one basis, you have to have that understanding that what is the best in him and how can I bring out the best in him by doing what. You cannot scold everybody, you cannot be very nice to everybody. So that has to be there, that balance has to be there. That is what is all about managing human resource. That is where our talent comes in. Everybody must have heard this saying about half glass full and half glass empty. When a person comes to you, you can always praise him for because definitely he must have done some good things. So you can praise about his 8 to 9 good things, and then later on you can tell him about what he could do better in those 2-3 things where he has not done well. That will really motivate him. But if you start scolding him for those 2-3 things which he has not done well, then he'll get totally demotivated. Next time he'll not do those 8 things also. So what is the use? So there are so many things which make us do a thing or not make us do a thing. For example, many a time ego comes in when we are dealing with our junior colleagues. So we do not deal with him or her properly. So there we should understand. That's what I am saying. That mental understanding of a person's psyche should be there proper. Then only you will be able to. That is where you have to manage human resource, and you have to be very careful about it. You could scold a person for coming late to office one day, but you are forgetting those 20 days where he has stayed up to 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the night and completed the target. So that should not be the attitude. Okay, if he has come, you can explain to him properly. I am giving a very, very simple example to you, but this is how it should be. And then we all talk about success stories. So an officer who is very good, a colleague who is very good, you can learn from him definitely. But you can learn a lot from a person who has undergone failures. And you can teach him also how to improve, because failures really teach us what we should not do, which is very important. So you should not repeat them. So you should try to, a person who is not able to do very well, you can learn from him why this person is not able to do. What is the reason? Is it his problem or some other external factor? Which is, for example, in my office, one officer was not performing well. So I just made a round of the office. I found that his seat was near a toilet which was smelling very badly. The poor man could not perform at all. How will we do? And he had no guts to tell others that it. So once it was rectified, I could see the improvement in his work. So these things are there. Small things, sometimes very small things, if you change them, they'll bring about big results. Small changes. So this is what is human resource about. And then we should instill positivity and positive thinking in everybody. That is very, very important. Today we find that many of the organizations, they are engaging motivational speakers to motivate the staff, and it is really working very well. That instills a lot of confidence in you, that instills unity and group spirit and group work and all that. So these things should be, because as it is said, that human resource is very important. Otherwise, we are not machines and we will not be able to produce results. For example, you take a cricketer. I'll give an example. So he can very well learn how to hit a shot, if it is a bouncer, how to hit, if it is a full toss, but it is not that only, he has to apply his discretion. Then only hit the ball to get the right result. Similarly here also, you should try to exercise your discretion. So with that comes with experience, that also could be trained also.
I'm Srija Pillai. I work for TechWave Consulting and I head the talent acquisition strategies and L&D for them. And I'm on Cloud9 with my team right now. It's super for us. So excited. I can't say much more. I'm super happy for us. There are a lot of rounds for us, multiple. The first sessions, then we had a PPT presentation, then we had a short up for it. But the jury number was good, and almost for 40 minutes we had a review for it. A lot of question and answer sessions, then a lot of interactive sessions, but it was full. But yeah, it went well for us. The session was good. TechWave, we are closely now 2,500 globally. It presents over all the 5 continents with Global Development Center in India, and we have another RDCs across the world. And our chairman is Damodar Gumadapu, and our CEO is Rajshekhar Gumadapu. And with both the hands for us, all the homegrown people with us, it's a wonderful organization. I also joined a year back with this organization, growing along with it, and wonderful organization for us.
I am Sakshi Pal, heading the HR department in TechWave Consulting India Private Limited. I have been associated with this company since 2014 and progressing from there. I take care of the entire HR globally, and I have a team of 15 people having different supporting from different regions altogether. And today I am here. It's an opportunity and it's a privilege that I have received this award from a known prestigious body, FTCCI. It feels really great to be recognized by such a prestigious body. And the assessment that you were referring to, it was actually transparent. It was a good practice started by FTCCI, where every individual was given an opportunity to talk about the experience and the exposure that we have provided during our FTCCI and during the organization needs. So yes, altogether it was a good and different exposure altogether, and this really makes a lot of difference. And yeah, I would like to further say thank you to my entire HR team who stood tall with me given in any circumstances. And yes, proud moment, proud to be a TechWavian. Thank you.